Philly Show is presented by Fox One. Ruben Amaro Jr., Jim Salisbury, Todd Zolecki. It's Monday, October 27th, 2025. It's day 11 since Dave Dombrowski wondered, can Bryce Harper be elite again, or is he just going to be very, very good like Freddie Freeman? And Saturday, Bryce Harper finally talked about it. He doesn't seem happy. It's time for the Park's first pitch. First pitch is brought to us exclusively by our partners at Parks Casino, Pennsylvania's #1 casino. So, guys, we've talked a lot about this already, and we're going to talk about it
a little bit more.
So, Bryce on Saturday had an honest chat with the Athletics. Jim finds that funny. Had an honest chat with the Athletics, Matt Gelb.
You almost went through your nose there, Jim.
Well, there's deep meaning in that honest chat phrase.
All right. We'll get that later.
Dave Dombrowski obviously made those comments at the postmortem on October 16th, and then he talked again, kind of tried to clarify everything last Thursday and fouled territory. Scott Boras talked with me a little bit about it last week, but the big one, of course, was Bryce Harper. And he seems to be most upset with the trade speculation, but he also said he was hurt by Dave's original comments. And on the trade stuff that was kind of floated out there, he said, I've given my all to Philly from the start. Now there is trade talk. I made every effort to avoid this. It's all I heard in DC. I hated it. It makes me feel uncomfortable. He said a few.
It was weird. I talked to some people from DC, and I don't think they really talked about it all that much, did they?
I think maybe that last year, right? Wasn't there a deal in place almost with Houston? Like there was some talk right at the trade deadline about trading.
Some people don't remember all of that. Maybe there was, and probably. I mean, it probably made them feel uncomfortable.
Right.
No one wants to hear their name out there.
Right. But he seemed to be, upset about what else did he say here? He said on, Scott Boras said last week he was most upset or most bothered by the fact that Dave never mentioned that Bryce was hurt last season, which took away a month of his numbers. He said, and Bryce said, all players get hurt. I hurt my wrist this year and missed a month. Of course, I don't have full year numbers. It's disappointing to hear me being questioned about my contribution to the team. Just really hurt by that notion because I love Philly so much. So to me, though, one of the most interesting things, I don't know, maybe just kind of jumped out at me is that Bryce said he hasn't heard yet since the end of the season from Dave Dombrowski or John Middleton, even since those comments happened. Thought that was kind of interesting.
My takeaway to hear that he's upset is I think back to that Atlanta series in 23 when the shortstop from the Braves, Arcia, dissed him a little bit, and he went out and had that 2-homer game against the Braves. So
stare down.
Yeah, maybe use it as fuel. I think he's a real competitor who does use stuff like this as fuel. So I still, I believe in the guy. But I also think, Dave's comments, I didn't think they were particularly harsh. I just thought it was. And I do agree he did leave out the injury part, but it was a really good year for a really good player. But I think we all agree there's more in there. And maybe it was a challenge. Maybe it was just, Dave speaking from the gut and it just kind of coming out. But I do think Bryce can bounce back from this. But I think the key first step is they need to talk. And since that article came out from Matt Gelb on Saturday, a full day has passed. I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility that maybe they did talk on Sunday, but they need to talk. I mean, I think they both live in Tennessee, right, in the Nashville area. They need to get together, have some tea and crumpets, talk this thing out. But if the trade talk is the thing that hurts them the most, that never emanated from a Phillies decision maker. Never came from a Phillies decision maker. That was pure speculation, like an outgrowth of Dave's critique. That it was like people kind of assumed, well, maybe they're trying to trade him. And I don't think that's the case. I've said this all along. John Middleton wants him to go to the Hall of Fame with a P on his hat. He's still a outstanding player with the chance, to be elite when healthy. And I just think it's reached the stage where everybody kind of needs to get really close to we've moved on. So we'll see.
Yeah, totally agree with that. And I will just say I agree with them. I just want to echo Jim's sentiments that actual trade talk and stuff like that emanated from something outside the organization. My comments personally were about, shaking things up and the possibility of moving big contracts. So naturally people took it to another space. And
he's got a no trade clause. He's got a no trade clause. He can laugh at all of that stuff.
All those guys have no trade clauses. And so that's the silliness of it. But if you want to try to shake things up, it's something that you should, as a front office, think about or explore. Now, they may not even be doing that, because I do agree with you, Jim. I think that they want Bryce Harper to be there forever and to win a couple of championships with the organization. That was the whole point of bringing him on in the first place. So
a forever Philly.
And so I agree with that. And I also think you are right. I think at some point that there probably should be a discussion between Dave and or John and Bryce. And I would think that that's probably in the works.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people say, this is going to ruin the relationship, or is this the beginning of something bad? And is it going to end ugly? I mean, nobody knows what's going on. I mean, maybe they hash it out. It's like, okay, I remember several years ago, players say things in the moment all the time. And they're not saying that Bryce said anything extreme. He's like, yeah, this kind of bothered me. This upset me. But you guys remember, of course, and we've talked about this after Cole Hamels was World Series and NLCS MVP in 2008. He had a year of service time, couple years of service time. I don't even know if he was ARB eligible yet. And the Phillies, you guys renewed his contract, Ruben, as is in the CBA. So he was making like 900. Was it 900? Yeah,
I don't think they went to the million.
Okay, so they didn't go to the million.
No, that was Howard.
That was Howard? Okay.
Oh, that was Howard. Okay.
Howard with the 900,000 was the same sort of deal.
Same. Howard expressed his disappointment,
but a ton of money.
I do recall specifically standing in the visitors clubhouse at George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa after you guys renewed in Ruben, and Cole Hamels said very pointedly, "I will not forget this come free agency time. I will remember this slight by the Phillies front office." And then what did Ruben do? You said, "How about 5 years, 124, or whatever the number was?" And he's like, that sounds pretty good.
I'll take it. Take that.
What was 140-ish, right?
Oh, yeah, whatever it was. Yeah, it was a big number. It was a big number.
And it was an appropriate number for the man.
And he ended up forgetting about the slight.
Exactly. So that's
get worked out.
I'll tell you what, if Bryce feels upset right now, and I get it, Dave tried to say that he was trying to compliment, offer some compliment towards Bryce. Bryce didn't take that way. A lot of us didn't take it that way. When he said, will he be elite again, or will he just continue to be good? I tell you what, if Dave Dombrowski goes out this offseason and he goes out and gets a big bat to hit behind him, I think Bryce will maybe feel a bit better about things and maybe move on from that, if he's thinking about having it linger on, I guess.
And opening day, Bryce is going to have a fresh pair of, fluorescent green Fanatic shoes on. He's going to run out of the dugout, and he's going to get the biggest standing O, as he usually does. And then, the season's going to be in front of him, 162 game blank slate to go out and take it to somebody. And he's fully capable of doing that. So
absolutely. So then one last comment, and I just wanted, this is an interesting quote too, and Bryce wanted to bring it up because he wanted to bring it up. He said, from changing to coming back early from an injury, from changing positions to coming back early from an injury, I show total commitment for my team, and yet there is still trade talk. So, he brought that up as well. So
not trade talk by any people who decide that it's time to explore a trade.
Yeah, we said last week, we didn't think that was some weird,
not legit trade talk stuff.
Yeah, calculated move by by the Phillies to get that going. So anyway.
All right. Hey, that was First Pitch. It's presented exclusively by our partners at Parks Casino, Pennsylvania's #1 casino. ParksCasino.com is the website. You must be 21. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The old card experience was a slow burn, long grind, right? Find the box, find the pack you want, open the pack. Most of the cards, nah. Right? You got one that's worth something. Now send it in for grading. Yeah. I mean, the list goes on and on. You want to sell it? Now you got to put it up. Then you got to ship it out.
Yeah.
There's one solution for that, and it's called
Arena Club. And it's just on a click of a dime. You get on your computer, you type in, get the Arena Club app, go on there, type in, put some money in and type in exactly what kind of cards you want. And voila, it's a great experience. And I think that's what people miss nowadays, the experience, the excitement of getting a new card. You never know what you're going to get, an autograph card, anything you could think of. Really cool stuff.
You can get 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase at arenaclub.com/foul. See what gets Todd Father so excited. When he gets that digital slab pack, it's like butter, baby.
Butter.
We are back. Don't forget, if you're watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. We appreciate all of your support. If you're also on Apple and Spotify, hit the subscribe button as well. Thank you for supporting the show. And you can also support the show by going to thephilliesshowshop.com and pick up all of your swagalicious of the Philly show.
I love that cup that you're working there, Todd. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yep. So check that out. Guys, it is Monday, and it is time for Manco and Manco Best Week. Manco and Manco Best Week. It's where we pick our best Phillies player, play, performance of the past week, and we're getting down to it, my friends. It's World Series time, so we're limited. We got two teams to choose from. Who wants to start us off? Jim, you want to go?
Sure. It has a little teeny tiny Phillies connection. I'm gonna give my Manco and Manco Best of the Week to Dalton Varsho. His big home run in Game 1 turned that game around and got the Blue Jays a really important victory so they could go to LA 1-1. We all know him pretty well. We remember when he was a little kid, his dad played and coached for the Phillies. And I remember seeing this kid in Clearwater all the time when he was, 3 years old. And he was like a little bulldog. You could tell he was going to be a great athlete. His sisters were great athletes, older sisters. They were always running around full of energy. And he has proven to be a great athlete playing in the World Series. I'm sure his family's really proud of him. So it's kind of cool to see him on the screen, knowing that you knew him when he was 2 and 3 years old, and now he's hitting home runs in the World Series. So hats off to Dalton Varsho.
Yeah, the cool part, I saw this on, and it didn't occur to me in the moment, but it was the first first home run hit at Rogers Center in the World Series since obviously Joe Carter's, and Darren Dalton was behind the plate, of course, for that one. Unfortunately for Phillies fans, but Dalton Varsho was named after Darren Dalton, so it's kind of and then the quote from Dalton Varsho after the game was a surreal moment, kind of full circle for me. So he kind of appreciated the fact that the guy I was named at. All that was pretty cool. I'm going to go. I got Yoshinobu Yamamoto. If you listen to the Philly show, we love starting pitching, and he has thrown back-to-back complete games in the postseason, including Game 2 of the World Series. He's the first pitcher with back-to-back complete games in the postseason since Arizona's Curt Schilling in 2001. The first Dodger to do it since Orel Hershiser in 1988. And the most recent pitcher to just have multiple complete games in the postseason, Madison Bumgarner in 2014. So it's been over a decade since anybody has done what Yoshinobu Yamamoto has done, and much longer since somebody's done in back-to-back postseason games.
And impressive, because he saved that bullpen, and they needed to keep that bullpen out of it because it's a struggle right now for a variety of reasons.
What's old will be new again, Ruben.
It's amazing, isn't it? Starting pitching. What? Starting pitching means something?
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm going to go off the board a little bit here, guys. As far as Manco best week, I'm going to drop my future son-in-law, Mr. Adam Alderfer. He proposed to my daughter, Andrea, and it was an amazing moment and an amazing weekend for the Amaro family. So happy for them. They did it right there in the middle of the city, Philadelphia, right between Fittler Square, I think, and Rittenhouse Square. And it was quite a moment. We enjoyed with family and friends later on after that. And it was just a great weekend. And I got to give Adam and Andrea the best of the best for this week. Quite a moment for the Amaro family, as I said, and welcoming the Alderfers to the Amaro family as well. Great kid. They met at Wake Forest. Great stuff. Nice going, Adam.
Congratulations.
And he presented her with a ridiculous ring, I must admit.
Well, she deserves it.
She is deserving.
Well, congratulations. That's very exciting.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
They're very, very cool. So I had to drop it on them. As far as a player is concerned, I would say Will Smith, pretty amazing. He might be, there's some argument when he's healthy that he might be the best all-around catcher in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
He and JT, I guess, have those tags. But he had a heck of a game to bring that the Dodgers to a 1-1 tie going back to LA.
Yeah, great World Series so far. It's been fun.
Yeah. Yeah, he's healthy now.
Keep it tight. The World Series. Keep it tight. All right, so we're going to get into some more World Series stuff in a second. But first, Ruben is going to tell us what's going on this week and every week at Parks Casino.
Yes, indeed. Parks Casino is the #1 casino in Pennsylvania, and it's my casino of choice, and they have it all. Headline entertainment at the Excite Center, happy hour in Liberty Bell Beer Garden, 76ers watch parties, the Bamboo Noodle House, the Parks Grill, delicious. They have the best cover bands, the Bet Parks Sportsbook, and a beautiful poker room as well. Plus, Parks Casino is a go-to for the Birds game day all season long. Check it out. Every Sunday at noon and every Monday at 6 p.m. The Bet Parks Sportsbook serves up the ultimate Philly fan experience. $1 dogs, $3 Miller Lights, $5 Peronis. Delicious. Plus wall-to-wall action on a 150-foot giant sportsbook screen. Bring your crew, get your spot, watch and wager on all the action, and eat and drink like a real Philly sports fan. Tickets are on sale now for these headliners at the Excite Center. December 5th, it's Straight No Chaser. December 6th, comedian Ken Young. December 12th, Get the Let Out, a Led Zeppelin tribute. ParksCasino.com to buy all tickets to all shows. Parks Casino, this is how you win. You must be 21. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, we are back, and the Philly Show is brought to you by Fox One. Jim, you mentioned you named Dalton Varsho as it's your Manco and Manco best week. He said something, so he hits this big home run in Game 1, and he had an interesting quote. And I just wanted to get your guys' opinion on it.
Mm-hmm.
He smashed it to center field, like off the batter's eye, like halfway up the batter's eye. And the quote he gave after the game was, "I'm trying to hit a ground ball back to the pitcher. That's been my goal all season. I know it's not like what everybody says about long angle, so I literally try to hit a ground ball right back to the pitcher." And somebody then asked why. He says, "It's really easy for me to hit a ball in the air. I've known that my whole life. So for me, I have to really exaggerate going down to the baseball, and it works out for me because I'm able to keep my bat in the zone a long period of time when I do that." Now, George Springer was asked about that yesterday. He's like, it's kind of a weird way, or not a weird way. It's like, it's an interesting way to talk about it. You don't really hear many people say that, but it works for him. But I just wanted to get your guys' opinions on that.
That's what is old will be new again.
Downward plane. Use the middle of the field.
What I believe, and I've talked baseball and hitting for years and years, Todd and Jim. I studied hitting. It was something that I've obsessed with as I was coming through the minor leagues. I worked with my boy, David Eskers, now the head coach at Stanford, and we talked about hitting, the mechanics of hitting for years. the art of hitting has always been the same for me. And I think about Tony Gwynn and Wade Boggs. And I think about those guys having their barrel in the zone as long as possible so that your margin for error becomes a little smaller. You give yourself a chance to barrel the baseball up more consistently if your barrel's in the zone a long time. How do you do that? You go down to the ball, and then you keep your barrel in the zone longer on a longer plane, and then finish sort of high. And the way that gives you a chance, instead of being in and out of the zone and working up to the ball, you are actually using your barrel through the middle of the zone in that hitting zone much longer. Gives you a chance to barrel the ball more. I mean, that's the whole point of hitting, is to try to barrel the baseball. And if you do that, and you do it more consistently, then we won't have just one 300 hitter in the National League.
Well, it was interesting is that I don't know if that's a new philosophy for Dalton Varsho or not, but he had like a really good year for him this season. Career 833 OPS. The years before that, he's been a league average type of hitter. Hasn't been, he's been a brilliant defender, but a league average hitter. So I don't know if that's a new philosophy for him, but it works.
I mean, there's a real basic principle in there, and that's use the middle of the field.
Correct.
And it sounds like he's trying to trick his mind, where he said, I never had a problem getting the ball in the air. So he's trying to visualize down on the ball, and then it'll take off and go up. But, there's some simple fundamentals of hitting: hands above the ball, use the middle of the field, drive through the ball. And when you think about
using the ball,
yeah, I mean,
all those things.
You look at Schmitty.
He talked about that too. Schmitty talked about that pretty exclusively too, and so did guys like Pujols and other guys. Sorry for interrupting.
No, they're all down to the ball. Schmidt, Pujols, Chase. I can, in my mind's eye, see Sandberg. They're all down to the ball, and it went up.
Backspin.
Yeah, it went up. So this kid is trying to trick his mind, and because it jumps out at you when you hear, I want to hit a ground ball to the pitcher. I mean, what I think maybe is more ideal in the big picture would be try to hit a line drive over the pitcher's head, 5 feet over the pitcher's head, line drive.
Yeah.
But he's thinking ground ball because he says he has no trouble getting the ball in the air because that's the way his swing is. So he's it's whatever works for you. But the fundamentals are, middle of the field, hands above the ball, downward. I'm not saying you're chopping at it's a downward path toward the ball. Just like Schmidt used to do. You don't have to be as good a hitter as Schmidt, but and Utley, they would use the middle field. They would down to the ball. Those are the principles, right?
Yeah, it was a cool quote. It really just jumped out at me.
I also wanted to say one last thing real quick. I went to the Fall Stars game and covered it for MLB Network a few years, for a couple straight years, and I watched batting practice during the American League versus the National League or whatever, and I watched batting practice happen for 2 straight hours, and I probably saw 5 balls be hit on the ground.
Yeah. Oh, they're all
2 hours. Everything was hit in the air. Everything was launched. Everything was up. Balls were hitting off the cage. Balls were like little lazy fly balls to center field. And I thought to myself, is this what we're creating? We're creating balls in the air all the time. Is this the way to be a consistent, good hitter? Or is this a way to try to every once in a while pop a home run? And I just feel like with the velocities that are created at the top of the zone, for you to have that sort of path, it makes it very difficult to make the actual connection. Now you can do it every once in a while, but you don't do it all that often. So you see the averages suffer, and you see less contact, and you see more strikeouts. I'd love to see it sort of slowly drift back, and you actually hear people, you hear front offices starting to talk about that again. We'd like to make more contact. Look what the Toronto Blue Jays are doing.
They don't strike out.
They do not strike out. That is why they are where they are. They create difficulty by not striking out. Now, the Dodgers have a tremendous strikeout stuff in their pitching staff as far as their rotation. So that's why it's such a fascinating matchup to see if they can hang in there for a while.
You look at some of those Giants teams that were really good. They didn't strike out a lot. The Royals teams, that kind of 10 years ago, that had a lot of success. They were contact, put the ball in play.
The Tampa Bay always seemed to have guys who can make some contact, and they give themselves chances to win. Milwaukee Brewers, same thing. Why did they have the best record in baseball? They try to make contact. I just think it's something that's a lost art that is still a very important art in the game of baseball.
Baseball is a copycat league, as we know. Remember a few years ago, Jim, you mentioned the Royals. Whenever they won the World Series, I can't remember what year, 2016. They had like those three big relievers in the bullpen, and now everybody's like, you got to have three hard throwing relievers in the bullpen. It's hard to go sick. Every year the team wins. So now maybe this season they're going to see what the Blue Jays were able to do. We'll see if they win the World Series or not, but they got to the World Series. They'll see that Vladimir Guerrero now on baseball, on StatCast Baseball Savant, you can actually go and see who has the flattest swings through the zone, who has the biggest uppercuts. Vladimir Guerrero, who just got a $500 million contract, has one of the most on the plane swings in all of Major League Baseball. It's like,
imagine that.
He is old school as old school can be.
Imagine that. $500 million richer.
Yeah, and he still pops 20 plus, 30 plus home runs a season, and he's been absolutely amazing in the postseason. So maybe teams are watching and they're going, maybe we can have this guy, kind of do what Vladdy does a little bit more or whatever. Who knows?
Interesting.
And how about Mr.
Yamamoto, as you mentioned earlier? Mr. Almost Philly? No?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think, what's it going to take to get
They offered him a lot of money, right?
There's a couple of them that are going to be coming out or posting. So it'll be interesting to see what happens if they really, the Phillies trying hard to get into that Japanese, into that whole game.
So the way it was
that foreign market.
The Phillies met with Yamamoto in Los Angeles a couple off seasons ago. They made their pitch. Bryce hopped on a Zoom call and made his pitch to Philly. They made a big offer. And obviously Yamamoto signed with the Dodgers, and the Phillies, basically their whole vibe was he does not want to come to Philadelphia. And the way it was kind of explained is, for a Japanese star player, when they think about the United States, they think of Los Angeles, they think of New York, maybe Chicago a little bit, maybe Seattle, probably, right, because of Ichiro. But Philadelphia is the sixth largest city in the United States, and not a lot of Japanese players are familiar with Philadelphia. And so it's a real uphill challenge. And the way it was described to me again was, think of the sixth biggest city in France. I looked it up. It's a town I've never heard of called Nantes, Nantes.
Oh, you didn't know that?
Yeah. The sixth biggest city.
Nantes.
There you go. The sixth biggest city in Japan is Fukuoka. I hope I pronounced that one right. So, if you're an American player and you have the choice between going to Tokyo or Fukuoka, you're probably going to go, would rather play in Tokyo. That's kind of the place to be. So they have an uphill challenge. So I don't know. They're going to have to probably overpay for somebody to get.
The Phillies need to say, in colonial times, Philadelphia was number one.
So I think if there, you make a good point. It's funny. You make a good point. That's the demographics, really. I mean, when you start thinking about the number of people who are of Japanese descent here in Philadelphia, I mean, those numbers pale in comparison to some of the cities that you just mentioned. So it makes it different. And you almost need a player that wants to make his own name in a new place. And it's going to be a guy with a little bit of extra gumption, a little bit of individuality, a little bit of, he believes in himself to make his mark and to be the famous Japanese player from Philadelphia.
Yes.
And you need that type of a guy to step forward. Who knows? That guy might be out there somewhere. I just don't know where he is.
You need one good experience, one good winning experience to spread the word, and everything can change. So you got to stay in the market, keep trying, but I'm not sure this is the winter when I know the big left-handed hitter's coming out, but he's more of a first baseman. So I don't feel it this winter, but they did make a serious run at Yamamoto. And it's kind of, they offered him a lot of money, right, Todd?
I think it was over
More money than the other guys.
350. I think it was like 350.
It was a big number, but they also knew that they had no chance of signing him. So I don't know.
So-
I mean, he probably could offered him $400 million. He's like, I'm still going to go to the Dodgers, but thank you very much. But anyway, we will be back this week. We'll find something more to talk about. Hey, you never know who's going to talk about Bryce next.
You never know.
Until then, I'll smell you later, boys.
It's my age.
The Philly Show is brought to you by the Foul Territory Network. Subscribe to The Philly Show on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.